All right, welcome in everybody, those listening to KCHK Radio in New Prague, and now Facebook viewers. It's the Facebook segment of Live Musicians Friday on this 7th day of Feb. It's the first Friday of the month, and it's the beginning of our series of having bands that are going to be entertaining for a big fundraiser coming up later on this month at the Park Ballroom in New Prague. We'll get to that in just a second. Let me tell you about the sponsor that we have, and it's essentially the sponsor for much of the year. And it's Vintage Escapes Winery and Vineyard, located just 10 miles west of Faribault, nestled on a 32-acre property overlooking Hunt Lake. Come out to relax inside their vintage-inspired tasting room while enjoying a shareable plate or a dessert with one of their beautifully balanced wines. Check out Vintage Escapes Winery on Facebook, Instagram, and on their website at vintageescapeswinery.com. They're open year-round, Thursday through Sunday, veteran-owned and family-operated. Raise a glass and escape to Vintage Escapes Winery. Okay, so again, big fundraiser coming up on February 22nd at the Park Ballroom in New Prague for the New Prague Veterans Memorial. It's Music Fest 3. It's a parade of bands, 8 bands in total, and all of those bands are LMF family members. We are so proud of that. The first band to start on that particular day, it's going to be about 1 o'clock. The opening ceremony is at 12:45, is going to be the Czech Area Concertina Club, the world's largest Chemnitzer Concertina Club based out of New Prague. We call them the CACC for short. And we've got members of the CACC joining us today for our program. So let's go ahead and meet them. Maybe duck around the corner there. We'll introduce Arnie first. That's Arnie Zizkovsky from Webster on the drums. Then we've got the president of the Czech Area Concertina Club, Vietnam veteran, and that's Joe Novotny. And Joe, thank you again for your service. Then we've got Villa. That's Bill Lovac. Villa is William Bill in the Czech language, and Bill is from Montgomery. Joe is from New Prague. A couple of other people from New Prague. We've got inductee into the Minnesota Music Hall of Fame in New Ulm, also inductee into the World Concertina Congress Hall of Fame, and that's Jerry Menard. And right beside Jerry is his grandson, Jake Bastier. And then we've got a bass guitar player today, Jack Malika, is from Northfield. So, Jerry, what are we going to entertain the radio people and Facebook people with?
Sure, Tom. Another tribute to the late, the great Whoopi John Orchestra. I believe this tune is written by Whoopi John's brother, Eddie Wolford. It's called the Eddie's Waltz. 3 beats, so we hit on 3.
And Facebook viewers and radio listeners, I do just want to point out that we have 4 concertina players here today, and you might notice that they all began at the same time. They all ended at the same time, and that's something that the Czech Area Concertina Club takes very seriously when they do a particular job. And now we have 4 players who did that, and now on that 22nd fundraiser, they're going to have concertina players in the double digits. And it really is a sight and sound sensation. So we hope that you join us on that 22nd. Again, they're going to be the first band at 1 o'clock. And the Facebook segment of Live Musicians Friday today is again sponsored by Vintage Escapes Winery and Vineyard. They're located just 10 miles west of Faribault.